over the years, I've seen you support people with serious illness, including advanced cancer, where they struggled with it for a long time. They spend an hour with you, and then they leave the room with peace of mind. What is it you help them see and realize in a short period of time?
The first thing I do, Dan, is I say a prayer. And when that happens, I could feel my body go into a state that I learned through meditation. I don't meditate much anymore, but I do a lot of waking meditation. And so when I'm with someone, I want to be with somebody, okay? And to do that, I say that prayer, and as I go into that state, I really, and the word I use is I want to feel that person where they are. And it becomes a dialogue that allows me, honestly, to feel their pain, to feel some of their blocks, and to ask them about those blocks and try to resolve them by just asking questions. I was taught by, I've had so many teachers in my life. It was an old guy, and he would hold signs. It's too long to tell the story about why he called me, but he would rip me to parts. He would call me stupid all the time. But he taught me one thing. He said, Paul, the question is more important than the answer. So it's working on the questions that will reveal to that person their answer, not my answer. That's the game. The next thing I do, which is crazy, and you have to be a fool at times, and I had suddenly this desire to ask cancer patients, make it into a dream, their cancer. And I was so frightened about the results. And I had another wonderful teacher, a Brazilian therapist who, wow, the name just went. Oh God, she was so beautiful and has died many years ago. And she said, Paul, when something happens in life, make it into a dream. Or if you have an amazing dream, analyze it. So I asked these questions. Give your cancer a title. And most of them say nightmare. I have to say that. What are the emotions? And they tell me their emotions, and I say, make it into a fortune cookie. Confucius says he or she, and they make it into a proverb, which is amazing. The proverbs are overwhelming, okay, overwhelming. And then I ask them to personalize the proverb. Instead of going he or she, use the word I. And from that, ask them to make it into an affirmation. I take what they say, like, I will not fight. Fight doesn't come up that much. I will accept who I am. Something like that. That comes up. I will not be critical of myself. And I get a stone. That's what, these blue stones. I try to get as white a stone as possible, though. And I write one word that summarizes what they have to hold dearly and correct in their own life. And it is invariably where they have difficulty with themselves. It's how to correct that judgment of themselves. And it's a very powerful tool. So I do that. I also tell people that you have cancer, but don't make cancer your life. Begin to witness your thoughts. Stay in the present, not future or past. What's your unfinished business? Let's do it now. Okay. What goals do you have that are obtainable in the moment? Then the dream analysis. Then we talk about how nature heals. Nature is so important. You know, people kid around, hug a tree. Well, I'll tell you, hugging a tree is life-giving. Walk in nature. Walk in beauty, as the Navajos say. Walk with peace in your heart and try to find a gift in what you have always thought was a curse. Because everything has a gift in life. So what is the cancer? I have cancer. What has the gift been for me? The gift for me is seeing how much of what I've been taught by thousands of people to use in order to deal with what's happening. I have a friend that another guru is 85, and for years I would go to him, he would beat me up. It's interesting how these wise people, they're not necessarily kind. And every time I left his presence, he said, remember to remember. And then I would leave. He said, what I teach you, remember to remember. I'd leave the house again, remember to remember. After 2 years, he said, what I teach you? I said, remember to remember. He said, now remember to forget. So you have to forget you have cancer. He taught me to forget the cancer. Okay, so how could I forget it? We've discussed that by self-witnessing. You could do journal work, which is so good. You take and you go through all the illnesses of your life. You write an essay. Ira Progoff taught me this. God, I have teachers. Ira Progoff said, write your illness down. Make it into an essay. Then have a dialogue. Make believe, Paul, you're writing a play. So you say, why do I have cancer? And you sit there, I don't know, I don't know. When I was with Ira, I have to tell this story. I went to see Ira because he was doing a workshop, and he said to me, Paul, just sit there and do what I tell you. You know, I know you think you know everything, but you don't know so much, all right? So I sat down, I made an outline, and I was concerned I had to leave medicine. Okay, I was leaving obstetrics and gynecology. And so I wrote an outline of what brought me to medicine. I wrote an essay, I had a dialogue. I have to leave medicine, why? And I said, I have to leave medicine, why? And I would say, I have to leave medicine, and my brain would say, why? I went up to Ira, I said, I'm just not getting any place. He said, continue. I go back, I have to leave medicine. Well, I did this for pages, and then all of a sudden I said, I have to leave medicine, and this inner thought came in, because I can't handle the responsibility any longer. And I just couldn't believe it. And I wrote down, I can't handle the responsibility any longer. And then the voice come back. You were trained to be responsible. Now I'm writing my dialogue. I can't do it any longer. But you were trained. You went through medical school, your residency, fellowships. You were trained to be, I can't handle it anymore. And then a soft voice came into my head. It was the thought. And it said, Paul, if you can't handle it any longer, teach people to be responsible for themselves. And this was in the late 70s, 80s, and that's when I started getting involved with David Harris, creating the Mandala Society, which became the American Holistic Medical Community. So there's so many ways, dialogue, nature, witness yourself, love yourself, mirror therapy. There's some people who I suggest 15 minutes a day, just look in the mirror. Look at your eyes. Become familiar with the person in the mirror. And I tell them the story that in the Jewish religion, when someone dies, you cover the mirrors because the soul comes through the mirror. And I began to get this concept that that person in the mirror is my soul. It's Paul Brenner without my baggage. It doesn't have cancer. It doesn't have criticism. It doesn't have anything other than pure love. I began to love the person in the mirror. Now the mirror cracks me up. That's it.